So I'm going to kick off Wallet Devs number 12. I guess that means this has been a year of doing this, which is pretty impressive. Thanks everybody who's come out to these. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so just going to jump into a demo of Wallet Test Framework. Nikki and I have been building this for a couple weeks now, and yeah, we'll just want to show you where we're at. So let's see if this works. Window. There we go. All right, is that working?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So as you can probably tell, neither of us are front end developers. So if anybody wants to come along and make this look like, a real application, that might be nice. But it works. So this is kind of the layout of the testing application. On the left, we have the test results that uses Mocha. In the middle, we have a section to input events that your wallet is displaying. And then on the right, we have instructions for the user to follow to interact with prompts in the wallet. So this is called the manual glue. And the idea is that down the road, each wallet can implement their own automated glue, so you don't have to type this stuff manually. But for now, it's manual. So right now we have a add Ethereum chain request. So you click the add Ethereum chain request button and you fill it out. So this is 45950. It is named this. And we have this RPC URL. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to jump in while I'm doing this.
Why are you copying from that little pop-up window?
So this is my MetaMask. So I'm taking what it's showing me, and I'm telling the test framework what the wallet is asking.
I see, and that's the idea here. Is this is your? It will verify that's what it expected.
Exactly. And then now it's giving me an instruction here what to do with this pop-up. It's saying, approve this request. Okay, I can do that. And of course, during the demo, it doesn't work. I did this literally 2 minutes ago. Yeah, let's try this again. It might be just that I took too long on this. But 394. There. So no idea what happened there. Definitely something to look into. But on the left, we have our results. So this is actually going through and running against Mocha in the background, or sorry, against Ganache in the background. And yeah, the requests are proxied from MetaMask or from the DApp, this page, into MetaMask through a backend server that's running on Heroku right now, and then back into this web page. So there's no server-side component really. No, well, at least no heavy processing on the server. You can run this as part of, say, a GitHub build. There's an npm package that you can follow along with, and we release updates every 2 weeks on wtf.allwalletdev. And the link's in the testing channel if anybody's curious. So that's about it on Wallet Test Framework. Any questions? Yeah, go for it. So let's start with Bumble Fudge, if you have your hand up there.
Sorry, mistake. I was just clapping. No questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so
I'm wondering, when you're making those calls, which are you comparing them against some other outputs that you expect, and do you have some kind of documentation that what you are expecting? I think for some of those calls, the different Ethereum nodes are producing a bit different output, and I was wondering what is the correct one.
So we are testing against Ganache. So whatever Ganache outputs is considered the correct output. But if there's ever any ambiguity, so far we've tested Frame Wallet and MetaMask, and so far they handle Ganache fairly well. But if there's ever any ambiguity, we'll bring it up in the channel to figure out what the correct thing is.
I would imagine that the MetaMask is just returning what the Ganache is returning right away, so it doesn't kind of modify those requests. But if there's a modern node, they would reply differently.
Okay, so would you? I guess the option there would be to specify a different test chain to run against.
Well, if you know what kind of block you're going to produce, then you can check all the kind of the fields that they should match to that block. And then no matter what node you are connected, it should always check against those. But the problem is that there's no standard on what those requests should produce. So then you maybe have to come up with requests and kind of define what is the standard, since that doesn't exist.
Yeah, we can definitely look into that. Right now, I think we're just looking for some kind of a test suite, and we aren't experts in, Node RPC or in how wallets are supposed to handle these things. So we're just going with the one implementation. But if there is a comprehensive doc or spec on this stuff, or somebody writes one, we will absolutely follow it.
I think at the moment the standard is what MetaMask is doing, and everyone is just copying that.
Sorry. I was just gonna say that if your question is about the Ethereum execution API, like what the node should return for each function, I think that the place to look, there is a group in Ethereum land working on this, and it's the OpenRPC guys, and I think there are a few little discrepancies, like different maximum values, or one returns a float, one returns an integer, those little things. If that's what you're asking about, I would say maybe figure out who those people are. I only have one name, and I'd have to look it up. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it sounds like maybe you're talking about a different discrepancy or standard.
Are you talking about execution?
I'm talking about what the RPC request. If you make RPC request to different nodes, they are returning a bit differently. And then when you're making also some of the wallet calls, they also kind of different wallets behave a bit differently. And some documentations also say about some things, but then the MetaMask behaves differently, for example.
Yeah, I think MetaMask is trying to align over time. I don't know what the roadmap is. I haven't heard a firm commitment, next major version or anything like that. But I think that the MetaMask team is already talking to the execution API OpenRPC people about little discrepancies between how it's written in the EIP and how MetaMask handles the wallet namespace functions. But the node functions, I think there's no one else to coordinate with, the Go team and the different node teams are already pretty closely aware of these discrepancies and working on them, as far as I know. I can't speak for work I'm not doing, but
do you know if there's documentation how they should be, or is that they're just trying to kind of build it without documentation?
Oh no, sorry. I shared the link in the Jitsi chat to. Oh wait, no, that's the playground. But I'll try to find it on GitHub somewhere. There's a giant. It's like a. Sorry, I've been on leave for 2 months. I don't remember any proper names or technical terms. There's like a Swagger doc for the execution APIs.
Are you talking about the execution APIs repository?
Yeah, I think it's either there or in the repo elsewhere that serves the link that houses the link I shared. But one or the other, I think the execution APIs do have a pretty precise specified expectation for each node. Yeah, that's the one.
So
Thanks.
Keep in mind with that one, it is under development, and at the moment it is just a copy of what Geth does. It is not actually a standard that is followed.
Right.
It's basically just it's a starting point for a specification, but not an actual specification yet.
So I guess to specifically answer your question from earlier, if someone gives us an authoritative spec that we can verify against, we will use that.
Does this require
That's a lot to
you
ask.
say-
Sorry, go on.
Does this tool require that you connect to Ganache on the back end, or can you use any RPC provider like Nethermind running on mainnet?
So because of the way that the tests work, where you have to generate a block on demand or those kind of things, it won't run on mainnet, and it does use the like backend RPC that Ganache supports for like mine a block now or transfer funds from this account to that account. So that is using the Ganache backend, but any API provider that supports that additional like RPC endpoints will work.
Okay.
Yeah, Victor, that's kind of exactly. Whoever just raised their hand, I can't see your name,
That's
but
me,
go for it.
Steven. Yeah, really cool demo, Sam. I'm wondering if there are any tests for that are interactive tests, or if you're planning on doing interactive tests as well.
Yeah, it's just we haven't written them yet. So
Oh.
yeah, so we just finished the glue about 2 weeks ago. So now we can actually pop up dialogues and stuff. So now we can start writing interactive tests like, let's say, sign message or send transaction.
Cool. Great work.
Thanks. All right. So if there aren't any other comments or questions on Wallet Test Framework, I'd like to mention EAP 6963. That's the Pedro's proposal for a new wallet discovery mechanism. If Pedro's here and they'd like to talk about it, please do. If not, links in the Discord and you can follow along there. All right.
I don't see Pedro. I know that this is a hard time for him in his time zone if he's back home. But yeah, I have worked with him on it a little bit, so I could maybe answer a few very easy questions on his behalf.
Can you give a short overview of how it works? Or, I mean, I can do that too if you want.
Your overview would probably be better. Aforementioned month into leave, don't remember anything. Probably.
Yeah, so instead of injecting window.ethereum into every page, this uses an event style interface on the window object to inform the application that wallets exist. It still requires injecting into the page, but it does support multiple wallet providers. So that's definitely an improvement. That's about all I know about it. So definitely take a look at EIP 6963 if you're curious.
Yeah, I would maybe add that the main problem this solves is different wallets overriding or race conditioning for the window.ethereum. Like the sort of lack of a namespace to allow multiple to coexist, I think, was the driver. And there's a couple other. There's like an older, not much older, a few months older EIP by the second author listed. I don't know how to pronounce his or her name, but I think it's Kasala Hemachandra. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but I'll look it up and put it in the chat. Yeah, it's actually from Encrypt. So this and that are similar. So yeah, exactly. Thanks, everyone. That had a few little differences, and there's been a big group chat for a few months hashing them out. And I think Kasala wanted to co-author this one because they have a lot in common, and it's sort of a let's propose both and see what the market prefers, kind of thing. So yeah, that's maybe useful context for people just hearing about it now. I'll get some links going here.
Great, thanks so much. I think that's a great segue into the next topic here, which is Shadow, or pre-draft EIP 7039, which is using custom scheme handlers to accomplish the exact same thing as 6963. Link in the agenda. I've been talking about this for a while. If you aren't aware of the upsides and downsides of this proposal, let me know now, but it's very, very similar. It just uses a slightly different method to connect to wallets. Yeah. So if you want to read that one and take a look at it, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
What's the EIP number again of yours?
This is, I just put it up earlier today, so it's pull request 7039.
Thanks.
Yeah, and it uses register protocol handler API. So the same thing that lets websites handle mail to links. And the
Right.
advantage of that is it uses the browser's native UI for choosing between wallets. It leaks very little information. If you don't approve a connection, you can't even tell a wallet is installed. And web extensions, there's no additional permissions required beyond, well, there are just no additional permissions required.
Can you remind me, Sam, why I don't like this?
Yes. On Chrome,
See,
it only there's no easy UI
Yeah,
for
that-
choosing.
that one doesn't bother me. Chrome
okay.
users can have one wallet. I'm fine with that. There's something else though.
You didn't like the WebRTC stuff, but that's all removed now. It's just post message now.
I thought we couldn't figure out a way to make it actually initiate the full connection.
Right. So now it just uses post message.
So it
way
doesn't
you
work
wanted.
with desktop. and
It
mobile?
does. We figured this out. So if a desktop app hosts a page on localhost, so like the app has a button you click on and then it opens a page in your browser, you can
Sure.
click a button there to register a protocol handler that uses the native application.
Okay.
And
And if
for
it's
mobile,
an extension,
yeah, you can register them as an extension.
So sorry, but if let's say you just install an extension, you don't have a local app, you can't host anything at localhost. You can't serve files.
Can, in fact, you can use a content page. I forget, it's in one of the options in the manifest, and you're allowed registering that as a protocol handler.
Oh, interesting. I see.
Yep.
And then for mobile, how would that work in theory?
It wouldn't. Yeah. So
Okay.
a mobile wallet could you could go to, let's say, mywallet.com, click a button, and it would register mywallet.com as a handler and then proxy to your mobile wallet. But yeah, it's not exactly smooth.
Okay. Maybe I don't hate it.
High praise.
Sam,
I
can
think
you
it
say a
used
little
the
bit about
record.
your thought process and like some of the advantages that it might have over 6963?
So wallets no longer have to inject any content scripts into the page. They require no permission to view or modify pages, which I think is a huge plus for me. On sane browsers, it supports multiple wallets at the same time. And on less sane wallets like Chrome, it's not hard to implement a dialog that lets you choose between the two handlers. So that, I think, has an equally likely chance as externally connectable, and that's a whole other story. But suffice it to say, it's not impossible to get this feature into Chrome pretty easily. And yeah, it works fairly well for mobile and desktop wallets as well.
Oh, thanks.
And once, just to verify, once you have that, so Scheme Handler causes you to open a page. Once you have that page open, you can do bidirectional communication with that page. Is that correct?
Yes. So in the discussion thread for that,
It's via
pre-draft
window.post
EIP.
message.
Yep, exactly. So you do like iframe.content window.post
Yeah.
message to communicate in. Yeah.
And so who's writing the standard for it?
Like for the protocol or
This whole thing, yeah.
yeah, me.
Okay, I support this.
But by the scheme, do you mean like the syntax of the URIs that would start with, I don't know, Ethereum : / Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So you'd make an iframe. It would look like iframe src equals like something like that.
Did you
I
build
remember why.
prototypes for those wallets yet, or anything?
Sorry, could you say again?
Did you build prototypes for those wallets that can utilize this?
Yes.
But
Yeah,
they were
they're linked in the
available
discussion thread. Yep.
from- okay.
I remember someone's got a very loud keyboard and a live mic. by the
Oh,
way.
that's me. Sorry.
I remember why I don't like this, because we have to decide on what the scheme name is, and we'll be stuck here for 3 or 4 years at least.
Let's go with Bitcoin. That's already approved. Let's just use that.
Surely that will reduce contention.
It's equally bad for everyone.
Wise choice.
But yeah, we can choose anything. I don't care. Web3 is technically registered as a IANA scheme that we could use. We could also go and register Ethereum. I don't care. I remember somebody objected to Ethereum because this also works for Optimism and other chains. So I just went with EVM. But yeah, it's really just bike shedding. All right. So if there's nothing else to talk about on that, and I'm
Sorry, I
I'm
can't
saying
find
there's-
the prototypes. Where can I find those?
sure, I will link them 1 second. And they are like very bare prototypes. They just
Yeah,
show
but-
that you can, yeah.
Just proof of concepts.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Thanks. I've learned a lot of TypeScript and JavaScript since then, so forgive how absolutely terrible they are.
Well, they look like just JavaScript. Where's the TypeScript?
Oh, I didn't say I wrote them in TypeScript. I've just learned TypeScript since then.
Right.
That's why he's apologizing for how terrible they are.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right. So, anything else on this? Otherwise, if not, I will hand it over to Victor to talk about all ERC devs. You might be muted, Victor. There you go.
Okay, yeah, I was waiting if someone want to speak about other things, but yeah, thank you. Thanks, Sam, for the opportunity. Just want to quickly share. There's a new initiative that we're trying to bring up, which is called ERC Dev. This is a wordplay of all core dev or all water dev. Thanks for all the predecessors, and we want to bring the spirit where there lack the a place for ERC authors and developers to come together and discuss, and hence this is a way to do it. Of course, you can do forums, but having a synchronized way, you can be more efficient. We just run yesterday, and we're trying to have one session, and it was great. 2 ERC authors come and share, and then other people give feedback. And what's particularly relevant to this group, I think, is that most wallets are meant to be used for signing content transactions and interact with smart contracts. So if you want to get to know what's latest updates and ERC authoring and drafts, come and learn about it. And we definitely appreciate your feedback and comments and technical reviews from your perspective as wallet dev. So come here. I will share the link and wish to have to see you here as well. Thanks for the opportunity to bring this before you.
And speaking as an EIP editor, I very much appreciate somebody trying to coordinate all those cats that need herding.
Yeah, and wish that becomes a way to even boost the effort that you're putting forward for the work group or rings of peer reviews. And
Great.
that's
So
it
links
for all ERC stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. So links in the chat. You can also find it in the Discord. And I think you also wanted to talk about ERC 5269.
Yeah, I heard someone proposing EIPs that helps detecting the wallets. I think it would be your interest to see this effort trying to have a modernized, a better way to detect an ERCs. Before that, you probably know that there's EIP 155, but as we learn that is very limited. So I'm trying to put up a new standard, which is called ERC 5269. Trying to detect and discover ERCs by emitting proper events and then make new assumptions. For example, in EIP 165, in EIP 165, you basically will learn that this is the functions that it exposes. We anticipate in the future with the design pattern of proxy, design pattern of diamonds, you will see a smart contract exposing different functionalities to different wallets, to different accounts. And that's why we take that into account. And in the detection, we actually expose a parameter to specify which caller is calling, and then it will return EIP status of that particular EIP. And then we also allow major EIP identifier and minor EIP identifier, where major EIP identifier will be the numbers to make it easier to identify. And then the minor ones will actually be, you can include different functionalities for EIPs. So I'm happy to share more in all ERC devs. And if you're interested in learn about this, please come over and yeah, thank you. And your feedback is greatly appreciated. I know this is trying to be a draft right now. It is still a review status right now, trying to take it slow and hopefully make it finalized in a good state. Thank you. I'm done.
So this is
I'm
kind of
done
a
speaking.
replacement for ERC 165, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
sort of. Yeah, competing with
Yeah,
it, or trying to be a better version.
Cool. I can see that being pretty useful, especially for things like OpenSea or whatever, try to discover stuff about NFTs.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks. All right. So I think that is the last scheduled item we have. So now we have time for any demos if wallets want to show off any cool new features they've been working on. And if we don't have any of that, just some general discussion. Cool. well, then I guess we're officially done for today. Thanks everybody for coming out, and we'll see you all next month.
Awesome.
Thank you.
See ya.